All right, what is going on, ladies and gents? I feel like I'm stood on a battlefield right now with you guys, and we have a lot of fallen brothers and sisters laid out across this battlefield right now. And it is fucking depressing, dude. It is so depressing. But shout out to Daddy in the live chat. First like, let's go. Hell yeah, guys. Smash up those likes. Really do appreciate it. We have a lot we're going to be covering here in this stream. I'm going to let you guys settle in here. So as you are coming in, smash up those likes. Pump them up. What's up, James? Welcome into the live stream here. What's up, BroFi? What's going on, guys? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, welcome in. So what have we got? $87,250. It is not the low. The low that we've set is at 86k. We are officially back in this range. I mean, this is pretty terrible. Like, I get why absolutely everybody is depressed right now. Welcome into the live stream, everyone. So we got a lot we're going to be going through. I have some big ideas. I have ideas that I think a lot of people are not going to like, but we're going to be discussing them anyway. Because one of the things that I've been doing quite well on this channel is saying exactly what I think. And that's been serving me very well this market cycle. I can't say anything about how it might serve you guys. That's not my business. But, you know, if it's good for me, hopefully it's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that's what we get here. So welcome into the stream, everyone. Smash up those likes as you are coming in here. Let's get these likes up to 50. You already know the deal. Let's see. How are we feeling in the live chat? Bear market or bull market? What do we feel? Write it down in the live chat. We in a bear market or a bull market? Let's see what we're saying today, ladies and gents. Okay. It's been straight relentless down for quite some time. This is now a 20% drop from where we initiated it about 9-10 days ago. Let me know in the live chat, we in a bull market or a bear market? And as you are entering into this stream, smash up those likes. You already know the deal. Let's see who we got in the live chat today. Welcome in, everyone. Lots of familiar names. I see a couple names I'm not super familiar with as well. The End 2109 says, I'm watching because I'm not worried about this Bitcoin crash. I'm buying, but I always enjoy your analysis and the differing opinions of others. Well, hell yeah, dude. Shout out to you. That's very, very cool. That's very, very cool indeed. Lagworthy says, S&P just doesn't look great right now. I'm going to go ahead and press agree on that. Let's see what else we got. Bounce zone 40 to 70k. I mean, that is quite the bounce zone you have there, but sure, I think that's pretty reasonable. I don't know if we'll even get that low, but we could. UMA says, lose it all or be safe, or be in the safe side, get out and bail out. Well, that's the big question. That's a really, really big question, you know. If you exit right now, you certainly won't lose all of your money. But you know, would you be happy to bail out now? That's a question a lot of people are asking themselves right now. I of course have my own opinions on those things, and I'll be going through them with you here in this live stream. We are currently 14 likes away from 50. Thank you all very much for smashing them up, you legends. We have so much to go through. We're going to start in normal fashion, looking at traditional finance and the relationship with Bitcoin over these last kind of 24, 48 hours. But before I get there, let me go through these comments. Smash up these likes as you are coming into the live stream, ladies and gents. Welcome into another one. This is going to be the live stream you want to watch if you are worried about Bitcoin. We're going to be talking sense, and we're going to be talking calmly about what's going on here. Really starting with a lot of facts. I like to start with facts and kind of work backwards from there. But let's see what else we have here in the live chat. So welcome in, everyone. Secundo. Liquidtron says, load up that Litecoin. Dino coins are about to pump. Well, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on that too, dude. I mean, I think Litecoin's looking pretty nice. I like the fact that it is holding. I mean, it is in a free fall against Bitcoin. But for now, it is holding. So that is good. I have to say, I'm still absolutely shocked by the strength on Trump. I even considered a trade on it, but I just can't fucking do it. It's too degenerate. But thank you guys for 50 likes. Thank you all very much for smashing them up, you legends. Let me keep going through the live chat here for a minute. Welcome into the stream, everyone. We got a lot of people saying this is a bear market. Jay says this really seems like a bear market. John says, bro, where are we headed? I'm at work right now, and it's impossible to not care and focus. Wow. Wow. Maybe you're a little bit overinvested, bro. I can't lie. That's not good. We'll get to that. It's not a short answer, so I won't give a short answer. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, a lot of people saying bear market. AL says bear market 100%. Miha says we're in a catastrophic market. UMA is very bullish. Uma, very, very bullish. It's a bit of a mixed crowd. Okay. Welcome to the wrecked party from Matt Bukele. What's going on, guys? Welcome into the stream. Welcome into the stream. Edward says it's a bear market for sure now. What makes you guys say that? Is there a criteria or is it just your feelings? Are we going off feelings when we say it's definitely a bear market? Could someone let me know in the live chat? Is it just feelings? It is just feelings, right? It seems like it's just feelings. Everybody's bearish. Everybody is bearish. Okay. It's a bear market in a bull market? That seems a lot more realistic. We've had a few of those. We've had a few of those. All right, bear with here, because I'm just actually launching a poll. Are we officially in a bear market? That's the poll. All right, well, smash up those likes one last time if you haven't done so already. Vote on that poll in the live chat, and we are kicking off the analysis right here. Bill Brower says BTC.D looks like it wants to keep dropping. Look at it. Look at BTC.D. Look at it. Isn't that crazy? How is it dropping down like this? Obviously, a lot of this is USDT. A lot of this is USDT. Let's check that out quickly. If it's gonna load, it might not. Okay, let's just let this refresh here for a second. Let's see if we got anything else that's interesting as well, as far as you know, kind of like news articles and stuff. They were pretty terrible yesterday, weren't they? They were usually not great, but might be worth taking a look here. Okay, let's bring the chart back, and what are we looking at here? Bitcoin dominance. Let's get the DGen cam on the right hand side of the screen. We do have a bounce right here. Pardon me, sorry guys. We do have a bounce right here for Bitcoin on the 1 minute time frame. It is, of course, just the 1 minute time frame. We're not going to take it too seriously, but there is at least something here. And I mean, what a relentless drop, though. I mean, this is the 1 minute time frame that you're looking at on the right hand side. I mean, this is pretty fucking brutal. What is this? This is minus 5.7% in 3 hours, and it was 3 hours straight of dropping. Wow, what an incredible, incredible drop for Bitcoin. Just in the last 3 hours, just a relentless, endless free fall here. I mean, it's incredible that Bitcoin didn't even really do much at all at our 61866 golden pocket. You know, that's really something that I can't say I was expecting. I definitely thought, you know, by now some sort of reaction rally would take shape. We do still have the next support levels that I'm looking at, which are 85k and 75k. And we're going to recap what those levels are in just a second and why those levels are important as well. Smash the likes, friend from Brian. Thank you very, very much. Daveen's happy with the DGen cam. Love to see that. John says, this is the kind of price action I've been waiting for. I mean, in a sense, me too, bro. I'm just glad things are being shaken up. You know, I mean, first of all, as a trader, we can make money in both directions, so it's really not scary if the market's trending down. But second of all, it's just, it's good to see some movement. You know, movement is a good thing. You know, even though it's down, movement is a good thing. We're kind of moving this picture forward. And I still think we're pretty good. I still think we're actually really good. And I'm going to get to all of that here in a minute. I know it's going to, like, at this point, it must feel like kind of crazy that I can actually step behind the microphone again and tell you guys that I'm still bullish. You know, like, I know that must drive some people absolutely crazy here, but actually, I'm not down very much. You know, like on Bitcoin against the dollar, yes, okay, I'm hit. You know, it's gone from 126 down to 87K right now. That is, I don't know, that sounds like it's a 31% drop. Yeah, I've calculated it. It's an exactly 31% drop. So that's a pretty steep drop to take on anybody's, you know, net worth or portfolio. And I've felt that too. But as far as altcoins or losing Bitcoin, I haven't really experienced very much of that. And so I feel like I'm in good posture here. Now, I know that not everybody can say this, but the reason that this is important is because I've really been on both sides. I've really been on the side where I didn't weather the market very well at all. And it really fucked me up, you know, like, and it messed up my decision making. It messed up the kind of decisions that I was able to make as a result. By the way, we are closing in on 100 likes, so thank you all very much for all of that support. I really do appreciate it. Every click really helps a lot in this bear market economy, ladies and gents. But now it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I went through these issues as well. And we're just going to get the charts back on so you can keep watching these while I talk. You know, I went through these issues as well. And I played them very badly before. But having done that now, enough. You know, I've done it enough badly. I kind of know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I'm doing well. I know what I'm seeing, and I've learned to trust myself. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm always going to be right. That's really not it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm definitely not always right. I've been expecting a bounce since 94, 91K. I clearly haven't been right about that. We got a little bit of a bounce, but nothing real, nothing substantial enough for me to feel like that analysis, that 618 kind of zone that I was looking for was correct. It wasn't correct. The market didn't stop there. So I definitely get things wrong. But when you learn to kind of trust yourself because you know what you're doing and you can see what's going on, you can understand what normal probably looks like in the market, and you can see how well you've outperformed it, that's going to make it feel a lot easier to position yourself moving forward in the same market. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. I mean, if you've been fucking abusive to yourself for the entire market cycle so far, and, you know, like just absolutely losing your mind over everything that's going on here in this market for the last year, and you've been telling yourself terrible stories about yourself or your portfolio or whatever, how the hell are you going to make the next step forward now? You're not. You have no fucking chance, right? You can even join, you know, a group like BroFi and you still have a hard time. You know, and we've done incredible, even for people in that position. Going back years ago, I've done incredible work with people that have been in that position, but it ain't easy. You know, I mean, there's a lot of like mental baggage you have to basically get rid of. That's why I call it deconstruct, by the way. You know, like when you join BroFi, what you're getting initially is a deconstruction of what's going on in your head. We're going to deconstruct stuff first. Then we're going to reconstruct. Then we're going to weather the storms together. We're doing that right now. The group has been lit. We've got some pretty impressive profits in the chat. There is obviously a lot of hurt, you know, portfolios as well. But pretty decent overall. Check it out. $100 to join. We've got our live show going live in about an hour and a half from now. So in about 90 minutes from now, we'll be going live for our private show every week. And I'll be laying out my strategy in this market. I've already got a pretty well thought out trading strategy going into this next week, and I'll be detailing that fully inside of BroFi tonight in about 90 minutes. So check that out with this link at the top of the description. $100 to join today. Lowest price it'll ever be. Prices are going up, but I think that's important, and because of that, I'm happy with where we are, because And this is a big thing I was saying inside of BroFi as well today, actually. Let me go ahead and find that message because I want to read it. Because this is a really, really important point that I made. What I said is that with crypto, there's been absolutely no strength on this drop, right? Like, it's been a relentless drop, and there's been no real display of strength. We got, like, literally a day or two of a bounce, and it was meager. It barely counts, and alts barely did anything either. As well. And so there was no real strength. But with crypto, that strength can turn on like a light switch. So that is absolutely not a reason to be bearish. The fact that this market has done nothing but move down for 20% now in about 10 days. 20%. Yeah? I mean, that's a huge drop without any relief. And it definitely can get bigger. I mean, of course, it can be 100% drop, right? Like, there's no limits to this necessarily. But, you know, the same forces that have driven us down do play out in reverse all the fucking time. All the time. Especially when you don't think it'll happen. That's when it's definitely going to be happening. So I think it's pretty reasonable if you see a relentless downtrend where, you know, there are still support levels on this chart as well. It's not like we have completely baseless zones on this chart. You can expect bounces. And the fact that it's been a relentless downtrend, that's not a reason to be bearish. There are other reasons to be bearish. The fact that this price has kept moving down is not one of those reasons. It's just not. The reason it's not one of those reasons is because crypto flips back on like a light switch. Like, regularly. I mean, and by the way, the drop that we saw back here, yeah, this one was pretty scary too. A lot of the people that are scared right now were scared back here as well. Okay? This was a 32% drop. That's what we're at today. We just hit that today. Minus 31%. We're basically there. Minus 32 is what I'm looking for. Let's see what the Fear and Greed Index is saying while we're here. Fear and Greed, 11. It's at 11. And we have 5.5 hours until it updates, so we'll see how that goes. But obviously, relentless sell-offs are going to come with some sort of reaction eventually. Some sort of relief rally eventually. And so just because it's been in constant freefall, that's not really a good enough reason for me to switch off from this market. It's just scary. It's scary to live through it. It's scary to look at it. But, I mean, these are pretty normal on the charts. Yeah, and we've got people in the live chat already talking about this. Leo Oliveira? I can't even... Leo says this is going to be one hell of a short squeeze. And I agree with you. The problem, by the way, is that we've continuously still been seeing longs flood into the market. No matter how low Bitcoin gets, we're still seeing longs come into the market. 10-10 was that major liquidation event where we had too many longs in the market. They got flushed. Longs got really scared, like long traders, but clearly not scared enough because there was another liquidation event a few weeks after that, and now we're here a few weeks after that. All right. We're about to start turning up the heat. Welcome into the stream, everyone. I'm caffeinated. And I'm ready. Welcome into the stream. 107 likes. Smash them up, ladies and gents. Let's get these up to 150. You already know the deal. This is the weirdest bull market ever from that dude. Yeah, it is pretty weird. I agree with you on that. 14 days in says the cycle ended precisely when it was supposed to be based on the 4-year cycle. There you go. Retail was correct. 4-year cycle called it again. Pack your bags, ladies and gents. That is what's happening here. Bear with here. Actually, let me. I'm still gonna be going through these comments here. There was an interesting comment I saw here. Where was it? Stop the hopium. We're in a downtrend. but means nothing but wise to watch out. Don't really know what you're saying, dude, but wouldn't call this hopium. I wouldn't say that this is hopium. I don't know. Maybe it is hopium. I'm just going by the trend. Let me break down why I have these perspectives here. Let's start with that. We're at 120 likes, 30 away from 150. Smash them up. Thank you all very, very much. If you are interested in turning your trading journey around today, BroFi is where you want to be. I'm going to be right there with you. Direct access to me and my proven tools and strategies. There are tools and strategies that you can use to make money in this market right now. The next uploads inside of BroFi cover exactly that. They're going out today. The next uploads inside of the BroFi certified course cover in depth. Like, if you've ever felt like you take a position and then for some reason you do everything right, you put your stop loss in a decent level, and then you still get stopped out, and then the market goes in your anticipated direction anyway. If you ever feel like weird shit like that happens to you, that's super fucking normal. It's not easy to get around, but there are strategies you can use. And we've detailed some pretty crazy ones that I've personally used inside of that BroFi certified course. Those uploads are going live today. The next weekly show is going live today in 90 minutes exactly from right now. You can join BroFi right now and tune into that live stream right when we're done here by clicking that link in the description. It is $100 here to join. But let me tell you why I have these theories right now. So Bitcoin is down now by 31%. Now, I don't care about two things. The first thing I don't care about is I don't care about how people feel. Okay, I'm in the markets as a trader. I'm not anyone's fucking therapist, and I'm certainly not interested in what the market feels right now as far as sentiment. Not important to me. But it is a factor I take into account in my analysis. We're going to get back to that. But there's two things I don't care about. The first thing is how people feel. The second thing is shitcoins. Okay? Two things I don't care about. The first thing is how people feel. The second thing is shitcoins. I don't care about them. Now, as far as people's feelings, they've been destroyed, right? The feelings that people have inside of these markets have been absolutely ragdolled and destroyed. Okay, everybody is done. Everybody is done. Shitcoin-wise, the market is also down pretty bad. Let's take a look at others. Look at that drop right there, 220 billion. The high of this cycle, like so far, was 450 billion. So others, on average, have dropped by 50%. Now, that's not the real distribution. The real distribution is that most of them have dropped by 99% or something similar, and certain coins have held on maybe just minus 20%. So that's what others are looking like. Shitcoins are down really bad as well. Again, I'm stressing that this is not something I care about. This is not something that's relevant to me in my analysis. When I'm looking at where I think Bitcoin might go and why I think Bitcoin is here, what I see right now on this chart, ladies and gents, is a situation where Bitcoin has fallen by 31%. And we're anticipating 32, so we're damn near there. We're nearly there at 32% down. Shitcoins have died. Sentiment from investors and retail is in the toilet. It is gone. It is dead. Okay, people are completely done at this point. So sentiment has really worn down. Shitcoins are dead. But Bitcoin is down by a standard correction size at this point. Okay, Bitcoin on its correction over here, minus 32%. Bitcoin on its correction over here, minus 32%. Bitcoin so far, minus 32%. So far, we are in line with the last two corrections that we saw. The correction down to here, where everybody lost their mind, and the correction down to here, where everybody lost their mind. we're doing the same thing so far. We've actually done nothing worse. Sentiment is worse for people, but I made it clear that I don't care how people feel. This is a market. This is money markets. This is crypto. Since when do your feelings have any relevance to the market? Yeah? Exactly. Since fucking never. They never mattered. So they don't matter right now, and they certainly never will matter on this YouTube channel. If you appreciate this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. If you want to take this to the max, if you want to go max, take it to BroFi right here, and this is your transformation right here, right now, today. Join us live in our show. You're going to love it. $100 to join. That's what this is about. We're not doing the emotions. Okay, so I don't care that sentiment is in the toilet, and I don't care that shitcoins are in the toilet. But what I do care about is that our correction is standard with what we've seen twice in this bull market. And that already puts Bitcoin in a very interesting place. Because that means this is potentially one of its most important bounce zones. Now, we've had a number of bounce zones that I've been looking at, and we haven't bounced off any of those. And that is upsetting. That's not good. You know, that's definitely not what you want to see in these markets. Remember, by the way, we got the degen cam here on the right-hand side. So if you want to be a degenerate, then you can look at that out of your own free will. But what's interesting about this level is it lines up with a very interesting Fibonacci level. Now, the 618 was useless for us. The 786 is down here. Now, the 786 is still a good level. The 382 was a good level, and we found resistance there precisely. It was beautiful. 618 pocket completely failed for us. Maybe the 786 level can do something for us. I believe in the 786 level. It's consistently a useful level in my experience. So I like that Bitcoin is down here now. This is a good level. There's a lot of sideways trading that's taken place at this level, and this has been a relentless sell-off so far. It's been absolutely relentless. There is relief on rallies like this, on drops like this. There is relief, always. There is always relief. The problem is you might get relief at a lower level, right? Like, relief could start down here and then only go up here. You know, like, that could happen. But realistically, at this point, 20% down, I mean, you know, we could be making history. And if that's what you think, that, you know, we're making history, then, you know, it's GG, right? Why are you even still here? You know, you need to sell all your holdings and go home, right? But if you don't think we're making history, and if you're with me that, you know, actually so far nothing particularly crazy has happened, then I don't think this is actually that scary at all. But I'm not done. Another reason that I'm here is the stock market. The stock market is pretty weak right now, and we got a lot of evidence of this yesterday. The stock market wasn't great, and unfortunately, the only thing that kind of helped it in post market, and even on today's open, to be fair, because look at this, we're on the daily chart here, and I mean, literally, you get a close at 66.40 and then an open at 67.40 near abouts there. Yeah, they're about, what was it? It was 67.37. So you open 100 points higher. That only happens because of Nvidia. But I'm pretty sure even Nvidia's lost those gains now. Yeah, it has. Look at that. Nvidia had a nice big move up, and that rally literally lasted one day. You know, it didn't even last one day. So clearly, it's not just Bitcoin that's getting hit today. It's the stock market. And that's good, because it would be worse if Bitcoin was moving down on its own and let's say stocks were sideways or going up, because then we have a lot of unique weakness for Bitcoin. Right now, it's clear that the weakness is not unique to Bitcoin. But we do have a problem here with these charts. The S&P 500 is looking heavy, and a lot of analysts are correctly pointing out that it looks like it could be dropping pretty hard. And unfortunately, you know, my favorite level for this chart to drop down to is the previous all-time high. That's always how I do my analysis. And if the S&P is going to be seeing levels like that, there's another 6.7% to drop. And from the high down to the low, that's going to be an 11-10% drop. That's a pretty sizable drop, and so far Bitcoin's already sitting at $87,000. If the S&P were to drop by another 6%, where does that put Bitcoin? It's honestly so hard to say, but it could be 50K, 60K. It could be very, very low. That's if the S&P 500 is going to trend down. And this is a hard question to answer. You know, with crypto, it's a little bit easier because it's just crypto. But with the S&P 500 at this point, remember, we have to do political analysis too. We have to look carefully at what's coming out of the White House. We have to look carefully at what's coming out of companies. We have to look carefully at what's going on with the dollar and with interest, you know, with all sorts of things like that. But I still think that it's a very, very bullish picture. I still think that what we've seen here in this market is a bunch of people that don't really understand how tech development works telling us that AI is slowing down and that's going to cause a drop in the market. I don't see it for a second. Even if the S&P ends up breaking down, I see other levels of support that get us potentially a little bit of relief before the S&P has to get fully down. That could be interesting. I don't know if it's actually going to be useful for the S&P 500. So far, it hasn't been doing amazing, but it has bounced off every level that you could expect it to bounce off. So there is something there. There is definitely some credit to give it for all of that, and I think that is fantastic. But really, if the S&P does take a shit here, I think that's going to unhinge Bitcoin again. Now, the thing about Bitcoin that I want you guys to take into account is what's going on with its dominance. Why is Bitcoin's dominance so low and getting lower as we speak? Ladies and gents, if you are enjoying the stream so far, do me a favor and smash up those likes. I see we're at 150. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to be going through your comments here in a moment, and we have tons more to get through in this stream as well. So if you are enjoying it so far, definitely do smash up those likes. You already know the deal. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance here. Bitcoin dominance here is very interesting because what we have going on with Bitcoin dominance at the moment is essentially it kind of trended up a little bit, got into this zone of a little bit of trouble. We had these two liquidation events where, you know, even leverage was wiped out. Things got pretty crazy. And then we ended up seeing a kind of continuation down. And the Bitcoin dominance chart has already been in a downtrend for some time. It's formed a couple of these patterns already. And I've already outlined one of them over here. Here is another one. Here is a very small one. Here is a slower and less steep one. But really, this is one big continuation pattern here, and it is clearly breaking down right now. That doesn't mean it can't reverse, but right now I don't see any reason for that to happen. Bitcoin dominance is going down partially because of USDT. Okay, so there are people looking for refuge from these markets inside of USDT, and that is why we're seeing some of the drops that we're seeing on Bitcoin dominance. However, at the same time, there are altcoins that are being speculated on. Litecoin is an example not from today that is performing well. Solana is an example from today that is performing well. Solana has been doing very well since it reached this support level here, which is good. That's exactly what you want to see at a support level. There are other coins that have been doing very well. Here's Zcash, also against Bitcoin, sitting at fresh highs right now, today. I mean, it's been a constant uptrend against Bitcoin, even just going back to the beginning of November. From this low to the current level, it has gained 2.8 times against Bitcoin. That means if you put a Bitcoin into Zcash over here, you get to exit with 2.8 Bitcoins right now. Incredible moves. So there is speculation ongoing in this market in select directions, not everywhere. It's not happening everywhere. But in certain areas, there is still speculation. So I think that this is important for the health of the market. We do have certain coins. Look at Binance coin here on the hourly. We do have certain coins that are being speculated on right now. Certain coins that are being bought right now. And not a little bit. It's not happening a little bit. It's happening enough to drop Bitcoin dominance in a very noticeable way. In a very, very noticeable way. So I think that this is important to keep in mind. Now, bringing it back to Bitcoin here for a second while we are live, we are revisiting lows. We are revisiting lows here. We're sitting at 86,600, and the low that Bitcoin punched in was 86,300. We're very close to this low, and it's going to be a real case of kind of seeing how we might end up responding to this level here. This is going to be very, very important. People have to find some place to put their money so it can't be taxed. It's called Dubai. It's called Dubai. But obviously, you know, that's not going to apply to everybody. Not everybody can go there. I don't even think taxes are that bad, dude. After having done both, after having lived in Dubai, you know, paying zero taxes, lived in the UK, paying socialist taxes, I don't even think taxes are that bad. You get benefits when you live in a tax country, you know. You get credit, you know, you get stuff like that. You get real benefits living in a country where you pay taxes. Just depends on, you know, how you make the system work for you. That's important. Got to make the system work for you. But we're sitting at $86,700 right now. We are mustering up a tiny bounce here, but it looks like Bitcoin might be ready to set fresh lows right here on stream. So we're going to see how that continues to play out here in this market. Let's see what our poll is saying. If you haven't already voted on the poll in the live chat, do that now. We've only got 300 votes in there. I know that there are like 350 viewers, but I'm sure many of you haven't voted there yet, so smash those votes up now. Are we officially in a bear market? Yes or no? If you think we are in a bear market, click yes. If you think we're not in a bear market, click no. Let's see what you guys have to say about all that. Bull versus bear is all a matter of time horizon. I agree with that. Do I have to do the poll? You don't have to do the poll. No way. You do it only if you want to. But it's about 50-50. 46% think that we are in a bear market and 54% think we're not in a bear market. That's pretty impressive. I'm impressed with you guys. I'm impressed with you. I mean, I vote no. I don't think we're... I mean, we're not officially in a bear market. Like, fucking by definition, we're not. But, well, I guess we are, actually. If you depends which definition you use, because there's a lot of different definitions. But I'm certainly not using the 50-week moving average definition. Even though I think it's really bad that Bitcoin lost that level, and I'm really not happy about that. You know, I don't think that that's been, you know, the death sentence for this market at all. We have somebody saying we're in Trump's market. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But, on the weekly, you know, we did lose the 50-week move. I mean, this weekly candle is fucked. This weekly candle is fucked. Like, this is bad. We got 3 days left here. I mean, we can still pull off a crazy recovery, but we're not going to realistically, are we? I don't think we are realistically. Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. But the reason I don't like the 50-week moving average, pretty simply, is because it is a very, you know, I mean, it's a historically very relevant moving average on the weekly time frame, but historically we had a very different market. Do you understand what I'm saying? We have a different market now. Therefore, we kind of have to use different tools. Although, I mean, it's been very reliable in this cycle. Don't get me wrong. It has been very reliable so far in this cycle. You do have to change your periods when markets evolve a little bit, get a little bit more kind of mature. I've been looking at the 3-day a little bit more. Where's the 3-day? We're way past the 3-day on the oh, well, that's because it's a 3-day. I guess I was talking about 3-week, but no one's using 3-week time frames. And this is all cope. I'm not going to play this game of zooming out to get my analysis validated. You know, it is bad, right? Like, I mean, it's like a black and white bad thing, losing that 50-week moving average. But that doesn't, you know, negate reality for me. And reality is that, you know, it's a non-stop 20% drop that has to have some sort of relief. And we're now at a really good support level for that to happen. We're down by minus 32, 31%. You know, this is a great place for this to happen. If it doesn't happen here, 75K is fine as well. This is what I'm saying, ladies and gents. This is what people don't get if they don't study the markets. But every single bull market that Bitcoin has ever had, every single bull market that Bitcoin has ever had, we have seen steep corrections inside of those bull markets. Okay, so the most recent bull market over here, this was a minus 55. This bull market that we started from 3K up to 60, this also had a minus 70. We might not want to count that. Fine, it was a black swan. I think we're in a black swan right now with AI, but whatever. This right here, minus 39%. We were consistently getting minus 40% corrections in the 2017 bull market. Very, very normal. Look at this correction here. Inside of this bull market, we're down 75%. Okay, I think this was probably one full market cycle, so I'm not going to count that. This is the correction inside of this bull market. This was a 50% correction. Look, we've gone too far back now. We're in 2011. It doesn't really matter going back that far. But in recent memory, you know, like 2017, can we count that as recent? 40%? Okay, if we don't count that as recent, let's count 2021 as recent, right? We can agree that 2021 is recent. If 2021 is recent memory, that's still a 55% drop. Right? So a 55% drop, and then we still set a new all-time high. Now, I understand it was only a marginally higher all-time high, but the point is the uptrend was still on. I mean, altcoins were going crazy back here. This is where all the opportunity was in altcoins, right? You had something like Solana, for example. You know, just to, like, show you, right? I mean, this is Sol BTC. Sol BTC going from 8,000 Satoshis up to 37,000 Satoshis. That's a 5 times gain just against Bitcoin. Forget about what Bitcoin did against the dollar. Bitcoin pulled a 2x gain or more against the dollar. That's more than a 10 times gain on Solana. That's where the money was made after that drop. I don't feel like I'm crazy for saying this. It's not a fucking big drop. Look at the charts. Wake the fuck up. It's just not the Armageddon disaster everybody wants you to think it is. By the way, this chart is outdated. The price is now down here. That's how the real chart looks. It's like, it's nothing. It's absolutely marginal. Like, looking at what this chart actually is, like, to me, it still looks way, way more likely that everybody is scared shitless, everybody has been flushed out of the market, that everybody's will and ability to maintain composure has been fully tested and destroyed, but that the market is still going to be able to find support. It still looks like that. It still looks like that. I mean, I've never seen a steep sell-off like this not get met with a reaction rally. Look at this one over here. We got a very steep sell-off similar to this. I mean, in terms of dollars, this was probably similar. It's down by $28,000. Here, we're down by $40,000. Wow. That is pretty cool. Hey, that is pretty fucking cool. Can we put some W's in the chat for that at least? Okay, I get that we're fucking upset, but like Bitcoin just swung $40,000 and it's only down by 31%. That's pretty cool. I mean, I was deep in crypto when every Bitcoin was like $3,000. So that's pretty cool. Here is Bitcoin getting ready to fall off a cliff again here. Let's see what ends up happening. We've got the DGen cam on the right-hand side watching this on the 1 minute time frame. We do have the BroFi stream coming up in 1 hour from now. And like I said, there have been some incredible, incredible successes throughout these market moves, even while things have been really, really bad. We've seen consistent profits coming out of some of our members here. BroFi is all about transforming yourself as a trader. And we've had people join here and pretty quickly make some pretty impressive results. Remember, the group the fee to join the group is $100. So when you see these dudes pulling off plus $400 like it's no big deal, that's the investment fee to join, paid off 4 times. This guy joined like a week ago. So get yourself inside. We've got our private stream in 1 hour. And incredible strategies that do work in this market dropping later today as well. specifically in markets that are aged like this, like specifically made for these kind of markets. I've actually been working on a trading bot that kind of overlaps with some of the ideas in the new BroFi certified videos that are going out tonight. So definitely check that out. Especially if you don't want to do this alone. It's not nice to do it alone. It is better to do this alone, I will say that. But if you don't want to do this alone, if you want a good crowd behind you, and if you want to be able to chat to me directly, you're getting direct access to me with BroFi, linked at the top of the description inside of that chat as well. I've been able to talk to members privately in DMs in the group chat, and it has been fantastic. We are closing in on 200 likes as well, so thank you all very, very much. Those votes are evening out, and it is still 50-50. So that is very cool. We have Bitcoin here sliding down. It is about to lose its low in this market. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. $86,380. So it is getting ready to sweep that low. I do have to say, this subsequent bounce, I think, is going to be glorious. I do think a lot of people are going to be selling into it. And so if you want to get out, you know, it might even be smart to consider front running, right? Like if you think Bitcoin is only going to get up to 101, there's going to be a lot of people selling at 95, 96, 97, you know, trying to sell a little bit early. Right? And on the flip side, we could just blast through all of those resistance levels and go back to bull market as usual. I don't see how that's going to happen right now. I don't think the charts have the ability to do that at the moment. Long term, obviously, you know, that's how it looks on the chart. That's what it looks like is going to happen long term. But there we go. There's the drop. There we go. We're just on the cliff edge right now as we speak, live here in the stream. Thank you all very much for tuning in with us today. Michael Saylor isn't too happy either. I don't think Michael Saylor cares that much. That's the thing. I think Michael Saylor has a slightly more mature outlook on his investments than a completely, you know, out of control fucking crypto degen. But there we go. Bitcoin has lost that low. Wow, yeah, we are about to slide into the 85s. We're very close. Saylor's average buy is 75k. That makes sense. That does make sense. But no, I don't think Saylor's the kind of guy that would you know, necessarily put himself in a particularly stupid position. And I think Saylor really understands what he's doing. You know? I don't even like Saylor that much. I think he's a little bit cringe, you know, but look at the weekly Ichimoku. Let's take a look. Let's see. I don't really look at the weekly clouds that much, but let's see what it's saying here. All right, so we're about to fall into a weekly support. Why are we looking at the weekly cloud, though? Is there like a reason historically that it's important? Nope, not really. But if there is ever a point, it is now that it would be useful for us. Because like I said, Bitcoin has slowed down a lot. I mean, it's probably a good thing. It is a really nice big support zone. I mean, I like the, you know, a big cloud is important. That's a big deal. But yeah, and it did help the market a little bit back in 22. I'm happy with this hopium. I mean, eventually, like there is going to end up being one fringe indicator that calls the bottom, right? Like eventually, there's going to be one. So maybe it's this one. I really don't know. I really don't know. Think about how much money it takes to support Bitcoin at these levels. What do you mean by that? Like to support Bitcoin's price or to support the mining industry? What do you mean by that? Bitcoin dominance rolling over? Let's see what's going on there. Yeah, it is. It is quite a big drop here. It is quite a big drop. We're on the weekly right now. Here's the 4-hour. Yeah, we've backed. We've revisited these lows. We're back down to these lows now. So if we are able to sweep them, there's another potentially pretty big drop that could be on the way for Bitcoin here. Nice. Nice. Miners are doing fine. Yeah, I would have thought so. I would have thought so. It'll be okay. Nvidia seems to be the real problem right now. I mean, the real problem is that the markets are tied to Nvidia. You know, like, that's not good. Like, that's really not good. It's too much of a vulnerability for us in these markets. You know, we don't want to be that vulnerable. But let's see what Nvidia is saying here. Yeah, Dale agrees. Dominance is saving us. We bounced $100. Bottom is in. There we go, guys. GG. Bottom's in. 𝐁𝐥𝐿 called it. But I mean, this is a support zone for Nvidia, so it's not that bad, is it? Let's see if we lose the level. If we lose the level, that would be kind of bad. And yeah, it does look like this Bitcoin sell-off is directly influenced by this S&P sell-off here, because the S&P has now swept every low of the last few days. It's revisiting lows that honestly we haven't seen for over a month. That's the thing, is like every time the S&P pulls back by an amount like this, you know, like economists and so on really start shitting themselves and getting worried and scrambling, but it's so normal. It's like, I don't know, don't you guys get bored of this fucking like role play that you have to do every time? Jobs report was bad today, S&P falling, everything is selling off. Yeah, I mean, you know, we kind of saw that coming. You know, we're not gonna get good job reports for some, I don't think for a while. You know, it's gonna be hard. Maybe never. I think personally, we're never gonna see like traditionally good job reports again, unless, you know, there's like a reset, you know, like a big war or something. But like other than that, I think yeah, it's gonna be pretty rough. Hate to say it, but Peter Schiff was right. I should have went into gold. If you listened to Peter Schiff all this time, you would have only been in gold and you would have made no money on Bitcoin, and I think that would have been worse. But that depends on how long it's been since you've been listening to him, because I've been listening to him since 2018. Bless him. Unemployment rises and the Fed won't cut. Well, they will, and Jerome Powell's getting replaced. This problem won't be a problem anymore next year. I'm surprised he's staying around this long. I don't know when they're going to be able to get rid of him. But it's definitely not going to stay this way. Can I do analysis on Ethereum? Yeah, we'll take a quick look at Ethereum here. 2,800, right at the bottom of the support zone right now. A nice support zone. I like this support zone. I would like to see a bounce off this level. Like, even a little deviation, if we come a little bit lower, I'm fine with that, but I do want to see a nice... If we can hold this level on Ethereum, I think that would be huge. If we can, I would have to expect that Ethereum can get back up to 4K. I mean, it looks so obvious. It would be really, really nice to have Ethereum hold this level. The issue is it's just very hard to know where this drop can take us to now, because it is clearly being influenced by the S&P 500. That makes our jobs a lot harder. History will show Powell as a genius, no troll, honest. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Jerome has good reasons for keeping rates as high as they are. But I think what the Trumps of the world in this case are saying is that even though he's right to be trying to protect the American public or even the world from the disasters of, you know, what lower interest rates will bring, I think what Trump and them lot are saying is let's just like... I mean it's just incentives clashing, right? Like Jerome's job is to do one thing, Trump's job is to do another. Like Trump is heavily focused on just kind of delivering like numbers to people, you know, cheaper eggs, cheaper gas, better stock market valuations, you know, like standard stuff like that. And Jerome's position is different. Now, either way, obviously, you know, America's headed into a disaster in that sense. And I do understand that. And I do agree with those kind of takes. But, and by the way, I do see a couple of you guys have joined here for BroFi. If you have joined BroFi, make sure you join the Telegram group. That's kind of like where a lot of the main action happens outside of the BroFi certified course. It is the Telegram group, and you can join the Telegram group from the same place that you paid. So the page that you paid, you'd be able to, or in your emails, it's going to be in your emails as well. But some people do kind of forget to come to the Telegram group, so don't forget that. But this is what I'm saying is, you know, Trump and Powell have different goals, and the thing is that, like, Powell's kind of holding out for a reality that's impossible to get, and Trump is saying, I need my approval rating to go up, I need this to happen, I need that to happen. So, you know, they're fundamentally misaligned in that sense, right? Like, Powell has a different job. You know, his job is to protect the, you know, protect money, I guess, in a sense, right? With the interest rates, protect money itself, dollars. So that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of where we're at, guys. I do agree with you that Powell's doing good in his own way, but it's a losing position, man. I mean, the job itself that he has is not a winning job. It's not a job where you can realistically do a good job. You can't. You know, you're constrained by other systems that are already weighing you down too much. That's how basically any government office is, actually, at this point. Like, especially in the West. I think it's like, especially in the West, it's gotten so complicated for government. But hey, that doesn't matter because Bitcoin's dropping again right now. Bitcoin right now is sitting at 86,100 and dropping right now. And it looks like it's trying to get itself down into the 85s here. So let's see how this goes, because this is a really important price zone. Getting down to this yellow line here, this is critical. If Bitcoin can pull that off, that's a big potential bounce zone that I've been expecting for a long time. And I'm definitely interested to see if we can get some sort of reaction. Shout out to 𝐁𝐿𝐴𝐺𝐴𝐺 in the live chat. Dude just said he signed up for BroFi. Welcome on in, dude. I'll see you in that live stream in an hour. A little bit less than an hour now until we do that private BroFi live stream. I'll be going over my trade setups, what I've been doing in this market, what I plan on doing over the next week, going into detail about it. We usually go back and forth with some very in-depth questions. These live streams are totally analysis. The BroFi streams are totally trading. It's theory here on public streams and practice that we're delivering inside of BroFi. There's way more beyond that as well. This is a performance-driven community. If you want to get yourself inside, you know what to do. It's not like a normal community at all. And I'm going to make sure it stays that way as we keep growing it. But like I said, right now it's nice and intimate. Not too many people to the point where I can't, you know, individually spend time with each person. I can still do that, which is really, really cool. Luca just wants $86,000 to fill his long order. Yeah, I think people going long right now, I feel personally, I could be wrong, but personally I feel people going long right now are probably going to get pretty nicely rewarded in the long run here. King Wigger says, I'm interested in DCA at 85k and every 10,000 drop we have, I'll buy. That sounds super, super reasonable as well. I think these are good ideas. Shit, they could go wrong. I'm nobody's financial advisor. I make that clear. I'm a 24-year-old. What the hell do I know, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, you obviously aren't taking financial advice from me because I don't put any down. But I think these guys have got good ideas. I do. I do. Let's see what we have as far as news today. Let's see if there's anything interesting going on here. So, go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Well, actually, we can stay zoomed in. So, Ray Dalio still owns Bitcoin, but says traceability and quantum threat are concerns. I agree with that. That's pretty scary. Bitcoin's NVIDIA-led gains prove short-lived with price slumping back to 88k. It's a little bit outdated now, isn't it? Let's see if we can update this real quick. Nope, still saying the same thing here. That's fine. That is okay. Let's see if we can open up this article. So funny to watch this go back to 24k. I'm sure it's going to be quite a thrill, bro. I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. Bitcoin's NVIDIA-led gains prove short-lived with price slumping back to 88k. US stocks are also giving up major early advance with NASDAQ now ahead just 0.3%. I mean, a lot of this article is outdated now, but let's see if there's anything like interesting here. Hurting sentiment at the macro levels are continued ideas that the Fed, for now, appears to not trim interest rates at its December meeting. The September employment report showed a far stronger than expected 119,000 jobs added that month. Not only was perky inflation not a reason to cut rates, but high stock prices were also a concern. Market veterans will hear echoes of Alan Greenspan's rational, exuberant speech of '96. Stocks went on to strongly rally for 4 more years. I mean, that's what happens in those kind of situations. Hit harder than Bitcoin was Ethereum, now off nearly 4% over the past hour, perhaps weighed down by digital asset treasury. FG Nexus selling a chunk of its holding to buy back some of its battered stock, down more than 95% from its summer high. A check of crypto-related stocks now finds large losses after opening gains. MicroStrategy. Dude, MicroStrategy has been through it lately, hasn't it? Like, MicroStrategy has gotten kind of destroyed, right? Like, it's done pretty bad. Let's see what's going on with MicroStrategy. Oh, that's the wrong chart. Let's put it on the left-hand side. Put Bitcoin back on the right. I want to keep that degen cam on because Bitcoin is freshly setting lows right here. Right now, even. It looks like MicroStrategy is also... Oh, well, MicroStrategy is just fallen down to support now. Yeah, that's a really nice support level. That's a really nice support level. Yep. I like this level right here, and I like this level right here. 120 up to 170, both really, really nice. Obviously, if you can get 120, even better. Damn, that looks pretty good. 120 looks pretty good. I don't know if we're going to get 120 because that's a previous all-time high from 2021 as well. It's a secondary stock. You can make a lot more money off it than Bitcoin. From the April low to the high, it was up by 84%. That's probably about similar to Bitcoin, right? I don't actually remember. Probably Bitcoin did quite a bit more than that. I can't even remember though. But I mean, these are great support levels. I don't know if I'd bid this one, but 120, you kind of have to bid 120 just out of principle because that's pretty fucking nice. 120. Lucas says, I should have never bought that MicroStrategy crap, but I will not sell it underwater. Yeah, I get that, man. I get that. Well, I think MicroStrategy is going to make a full recovery anyway. It's like for what, like, if you are scared, like, what time frame are you looking at this market on? You know, like, do you have like a 2-month time frame on this market? Then sure, you can be scared. But why are you in crypto with a 2-month time frame? You know what I'm saying? Like, crypto, you got to be here for a little bit of a longer stretch. I do want to check out Aster quickly because I did see a chart of Aster before the stream and that looked pretty interesting. I want to see if it still looks interesting or not. Yeah, it does. It does still look interesting. Let's take a look at that later. But this is where we at with Bitcoin now. 86 grand. 86 grand. Never you minds to sell now, buy back in sub $0,000. This is what I'm saying. You know, with this kind of sentiment in the market, people clicking buy, I think they're going to end up being quite happy. I mean, you know, these are like properly like depressed comments now of like Bitcoin literally going to zero. I mean, fucking 8 years I've been doing this, guys. Come on. It's actually like the same shit on repeat every time. And that's how it feels right now as well. Anyone know why Solana is so strong compared to others? Yeah, right? It is noticeable. It is a noticeable increase in strength for Solana. It's hard to say why it's happening. Probably just the fact that it's a strong coin, you know? I think it was always a strong coin, and I think it's still a strong coin now. Remember when Trump is in the White House, stocks can go negative like oil did that one time. Well, oil is not a stock, is it? Oil is a commodity. And there is a big difference. Like, really, really big difference. Because that could happen again, and it wouldn't be a big deal in my opinion either. My thesis from Luca is that we retest the only inefficiency still open down to 86, 85k at this level. What is the only inefficiency still open? What level is that? Just say the number. I'm curious. And then we start to go up again. So wait for him to clarify that. Edward says, I'm in up to my neck in Solana. So far, it sucks. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It is pretty bad what's going on with Solana overall. But, you know, I mean, I think it is proving a little bit pretty well. It's still not great. It's definitely not great. But there is a little bit to kind of seek refuge in. Once AI is powerful enough, crypto will become useless. The compute will dismantle the chain. Well, yeah, that could happen. But there are good counter arguments that the chain upgrades itself. And I believe that that's also true. But 200 likes, guys. Wow, thank you. We're 3 away from 200 likes. Please do smash them up if you are enjoying the stream so far. If you're new to the channel, this is what you're getting. We're live every day going through this volatility together and really demystifying these charts. You're going to understand these charts at a nice deep level with some confidence. You might be coming around, you know, you might be new to the channel, you know, need a little bit of time to come around and really understand some of these things here, but you are in the right place. Here's Tesla stock. It also saw a nice move up, but it's just not able to hang on with the rest of the stock market also moving down. Edward says, you make the best live streams. Thank you very much, sir. I think so as well. I think we do pretty well. They're nice chilled atmospheres, you know. No matter what's going on in the market, we're always maintaining composure. That's what you want. That's why I'm here. I'm right here with you guys through that volatility. I'm lucky. I got a lot of free time. I'm lucky. Thank you for the likes, ladies and gents. 211. Thank you so much. You legends. Really do appreciate it. Shout out to those of you that are subscribed watching the stream here while we're live. Crypto versus Forex. Which one? I mean, I like crypto. Forex is pretty politics heavy. Luke, I don't really get what you're saying, but send me a chart on Telegram or something I can take a look. The Chad gone ham says, thanks for your hard work, dude. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, no, you're welcome, dude. You're welcome, and thank you for the nice comment. I appreciate it. No, it's really a pleasure. I'm happy to be doing this. Let's see, Zcash. Yeah, sitting at 706. Wow. It's the only thing going up right now. And it does look like it's about to get a big breakout. It looks like it's getting a big breakout. I think Zcash is on the way to $1,000. I do. Because it holds steady when Bitcoin is dropping and then it pumps when Bitcoin is pumping. So it's literally like immune to bad price action right now. Until it's not. There's going to be an end to this eventually. You got to be aware of that as well. Thomas says, thank you for great content. You're very welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the lovely comment. I know that not everybody likes to leave comments, and I understand that. I'm one of the silent viewers as well. But when you do take the time to write those comments, or when you do take the time to hit up those likes, I like it, and I appreciate it. So thank you. Andy says, I'm not asking for price targets, but realistically speaking, with sentiment that low, how low can we actually go? I mean, isn't sentiment a measure of where we are at the moment? To some degree, at least. Sentiment is just a measure of how people feel. I don't think it's anything more than that, including where the price should be. As far as how low we could go with the sentiment, dude, this could go so low. This could hit 50K, 40K. I mean, all of these bearish targets that these guys are talking about could end up being real. For sure. This is crypto. This is Bitcoin. I mean, we really have to be kind of open to those possibilities. I wouldn't like it. Shit, like I'd be pretty hurt as well if that happened. But, it's a reality. If you can't be open to that kind of idea, you would have gotten wiped out on some previous bear markets where actually if you held, you'd be pretty rich right now. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of need that ability. And that's why everybody says only invest what you're willing to lose. Because if you don't care about losing it, then no matter what happens, you're good, right? Like you either make money and then your life is better, or you don't make money, but you already accepted that anyway. So, You know, we could go pretty low, man, but, you know, I don't think we're going lower than 75. I don't fucking know. I honestly don't fucking know. You know, like a couple weeks ago, I was pretty confident about saying that, but this downtrend is pretty fucking strong. So, you know, even though I think we're going to get a really strong reversal, I do think right now that reversal is going to lead into a lower high. And I think that lower high is going to lead into potentially, oh no, potentially a bigger drop where we could go even lower than whatever low that we actually set before the rally. In other words, what I'm saying is that if Bitcoin does something like this, I think we could totally still do something like this before either moving back up or getting much worse. Right? So something that looks a little bit like what? Like this? We could see that. You know? And that wouldn't even be so bad. That would mean that you can trade altcoins. That would be a lot of altcoin trading opportunities. But, you know, if this does happen, this would take us up to like Q2 of next year. And I think for sure we're going to be pretty good by Q2 of next year. I think you know, we still could be good for the back end of this year, I think, still. Believe it or not. I know it might sound crazy, but that's how I feel about the market. But, yeah, that's a realistic possibility here for this market. It would just have to be hilarious, though, because it means that retail sold the top. It means that paper hands won for the first time ever in fucking history. Do you know what I mean? Like, there would be a lot of firsts. There would be a lot of first times that end up happening if that does truly end up being what happens. Like, I think it's more likely we wake up one day and the price has just fucking reversed a bunch of this shit. And then the downtrend is over. Just like it's happened a few times in this market cycle. And then, you know, the point that I was making earlier, and it's so nice to see so many of you sticking around on this stream, by the way. It's lovely to see you guys here. You know, the point that I was making earlier, I didn't get to finish, is that, you know, we have seen pretty steep drops inside of every single bull market in Bitcoin history. I mean, these are straight facts, and I was putting this out inside of BroFi as well. Just straight facts, ladies and gents. Nothing more and nothing less. Bitcoin has produced a drop of at least 40% within bull markets every single time in its history. There has never been an exception. If Bitcoin doesn't pull one off this time, it would be the exception. So you tell me, is this time different? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if Bitcoin didn't produce a 40% pullback, if Bitcoin didn't do something like this or something like this, or it could go lower, but either way, something like this. If Bitcoin doesn't do something like this and then continue the uptrend, that would be the first time in its history that Bitcoin hasn't been able to do that. That Bitcoin hasn't produced at least a 40% correction and then a subsequent recovery. It would be the first time in Bitcoin's history where that does not happen, if it's not happening here. And then every time we get one of these 40% corrections or 50% corrections, it feels like the end of the world, and the sentiment is like this. Obviously, this is the shittest that's ever been in my experience, but it's still, you know, the same flavor of shit. It's just more intense. Just like 2017, you're damn right, Thomas. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is exactly what happened in 2017. Maybe like 5 times or 4 times. Like quite a lot. And we're clearly not done. The last bull market produced a 55% drop. I mean, like I said, wake up, guys. Wake up. It's not over just because there's a big steep drop. That's not enough. 75 and then a huge bounce is what 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐴 says. And 75K is a 40% correction. That is the lowest that we typically ever see with Bitcoin inside of a bull market. It's 40%. But last time was a 55% bull market, 55% correction. We could get something less than that. We could get something more than that. Hopefully, realistically, we're going to get something less than 55%. Why does Zcoin always do the opposite? Zcash always do the opposite to Bitcoin? I think it's just narrative. I think Zcash is just already up. You know, money has to go somewhere. Money is going somewhere. I think that place is Zcash right now. I think that's all we're seeing. Lucas says 2017 is completely different. We were on a steep exponential rise. This time we're on a linear rise. I love the 2017 correction as they were steep and especially fast and they were quick. Yeah, I agree with you. They were quickly resolved back in 2017. Now they're not. Now we have a very different market. But we are still subject to, you know, the same kind of laws of these markets, even though basically everybody's acting like they don't exist. The market has had a stable uptrend. The market has had clear continuation patterns. The market has had clear grabs at support. This one was minus 20%. So far we're at minus 30%. But really it's the same kind of grab of support. We've had consistent continuation patterns. We've had predictable continuation patterns. You know, it's still been a pretty standard bull market by a lot of measures. A lot of people don't say this, or a lot of people aren't open to these kind of ideas. I think that's more because they're operating from a place of fear and they don't know what the hell they're doing in these markets. Because realistically, I think we are actually looking at a market here, which is pretty stable, easy to read, not really hiding, you know, secrets from us and stuff like that. I don't think at all. I think it's doing pretty well overall, actually. So I'm definitely happy with what I see. We've got about half an hour left on this stream here before I wrap up and head on over to that BroFi stream. So you already know the deal. If you do want to get yourself inside, it's going to be linked at the top of the description right here. If you want to get yourself inside, watch our private weekly show. Going to be going through every single position I'm holding, where I feel we're at with it, what I plan on doing next. I'm going to be outlining some trade setups that I've seen here. I've spotted a couple on this live stream. We'll be talking about those as well on that BroFi stream. I've seen incredible results out of my students over the years. Incredible stuff. So if you want to go through this with a performance-driven community behind you, backing you up, with me, my own insiders that I trade with, if you want all that backing going behind you when you enter these markets, that's what BroFi is. $100 to join today. Prices are going up. We've released a lot of content inside of BroFi Certified. Our best content yet is dropping today, which is super exciting. So you'll be able to get access to that tonight as well. If you want to join us for that private stream that is happening in half an hour. Lucas says, thanks, Sammy. You made my day a little bit more optimistic with that stream. See you next time. Take care, bro. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Glad you enjoyed it, dude. All right, what we got here? A little bit of chop on the 1 minute. ETH BTC holding on to support. That's a really good sign. Trump holding on as well. Wow, what is going on with Trump? I like the strength on Trump, man. This is going to do well if the markets recover. Big if, but if it does. I'm wondering if there are, like, any forever shorts. But I don't know. Like, shorting is also so risky now because the market is so over-leveraged in both directions, probably, I think. Our poll is still 50-50, pretty much. We've had 700 votes nearly, and everybody thinks... I mean, it's split down the middle. Whether we're in a bull market or a bear market, it's still split down the middle. It is genuinely hard to say, right? It is hard to say. I'd say this is easier than some of the other kind of traps I've been in before. I don't know, it's probably not. It probably feels pretty real. I think it just feels maximum shit, whichever one you're in at the moment. If someone joins and they're unable to attend a live stream, do I have it recorded? Absolutely. Every live stream is recorded. and posted inside of BroFi after the live stream is finished. And then you've got that catalog to look through as well. So you don't have to worry about being there when we go live at all. And then we're discussing the ideas of those live streams for the next week anyway inside of the group chat. It's been really cool. It's been really fun doing BroFi so far. I'm very, very happy to be doing this, actually. I don't know what I expected. I think I expected it to be good, but it's nice to be doing it. It's really, really, really nice. Bitcoin is producing a bounce right now. I wouldn't call this anything substantial or important yet, but there is a bounce taking shape right now for Bitcoin. So, you know, that's probably worth something. But otherwise, yeah, this is where we're at right now, and it's probably like stocks that are, yeah, they're just continuing to stay suppressed, really. Let's see if there's anything else over here. Oh wow, this is interesting. Take a look at this. So, group chats in ChatGPT are now rolling out globally. That's so interesting. That's really cool. Ironclad support at $0 is what I'm saying. There's a lot of this going on right now. Let's go into the trading list here. See what's going on here. I mean, this is a great level for Ethereum to bottom at, but I don't really think that's where we are. I don't personally think that that's where we are here. What else we got here? No one's really... average spot BTC ETF holder is now in the red. Interesting. So the average spot ETF holder bought at 90k, according to this, from Bianco Research LLC. Oh, from Bloomberg. Okay, I like Bloomberg. Well, I don't like Bloomberg, but I think that I can trust that data at least. But yeah, no, Ethereum is in a beautiful range right now. I do agree with these guys. Same analysis I was saying on Ethereum as well a few minutes ago. Dude, no one's going to fucking Vegas F1 right now, mate. Everybody's eating fucking pot noodle today. Banks looking for exit liquidity, apparently, huh? I think everybody's feeling quite scammed by the markets. This all feels very familiar. Their average entry is 74k for MicroStrategy. Can Sailor keep buying? This is funny, FUD. This is funny. Sailor's not going fucking bankrupt. At least not anytime soon. And I don't think ever, personally. I think this chart is trying to imply that the S&P is ready for a big explosion up. I think the S&P is still in overall decent posture. I mean, we could take another look at it. Like, it's obviously not amazing where it's at right now, but the thing is, like, if it loses this level, it's got, you know, more, and it's bouncing off every level that sort of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it bounced off every level that I think it should have, at least for a small bounce. So there's no reason I have to expect that it won't bounce off this level, which is pretty decent. But it doesn't really matter. The point overall is that I mean, these markets are so childish, you know? Like, they just kind of lose composure very easily. And I don't think that's, like, fully representative of how the stock market actually is right now. I think the stock market can be quite easily manipulated into excitement as well, with a week of green price action, or even a day or two. I mean, we saw it last night, you know, when Nvidia had that big effect on the market. It resulted in the open today. I mean, just one piece of news out of Nvidia, you know, completely shifted sentiment by a good amount in a few hours. In a few hours. You know? So it's actually pretty easy to turn this around. I think that's what people really don't even acknowledge as a possibility. As a day trader, it doesn't matter markets up or down. I love it. There you go, man. There you go. It really doesn't matter whether markets go up or down. You get to make money. That's the good thing. You know, that's the good thing here. It would be a lot worse if it was only a season for losing money. You know what I'm saying? But that's definitely not where we are. So I think that's a huge W personally. I think that's a really, really big win. Really, really good. Alright guys, I am probably going to call it here for this stream. I'm going to be live on BroFi in about a half hour from now, about 20 minutes. So I'm going to take a little break here. Go get a drink. And then jump on for that BroFi stream. So if you have enjoyed this one, you know what to do. Smash up those likes. By the way, thanks for all the support. It's been such a lovely stream. We've been live for an hour and a half. 250 likes. Thank you all so much. Definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You will be missing out on this time-sensitive content when it comes out. If you're not done yet today, if you're not done, you want a little bit more, you want to get really behind the scenes, BroFi stream, I'll see you there. 20 minutes, 25 minutes from now, I'll see you there. To my VIPs, I'm looking forward to doing that stream. I actually wanted to do that stream a lot earlier today. I was like, shit, I'm so excited to do this stream. Can I just move it earlier? But I figured, you know what? It'll be better to do it on time at the normal time. And Jamie Pike says, upvote the video if you forgot. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. That would be very, very nice. I'm most excited for the BroFi certified course. This is one of those things that's boring for a lot of people, but truly transformative. The ones that do use it. A lot of people don't like it because, you know, they don't want to they don't think they need to learn. That's why they're fucking stupid. That's why they do badly in the markets. But those that are a little bit more humble and understand that there's a learning curve to these kind of things, it's the best way to learn. Doing something like that. So that's exciting. But alright guys, I'm going to be heading off here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all very, 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 very much for all of your time today. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Take care. Cheers.